We have here a series of Egyptian artifacts, and of course some are replicas, and then there are a couple here that are not replicas. But I want to start on this end here. This is Queen Tiye, T-I-Y-E, and she is Tutankhamun's grandmother, and I was able to purchase an item of hers that was one of her royal seals that went around her neck that has her cartouche on it and has her name, and then on the backside the name of Amenhotep III, her husband. They are the parents of the man that would become Akhenaten. And Akhenaten is a strange pharaoh in all the lines of the pharaoh. He did a lot of different things, and the pharaohs that come after him try to scrub him and Tutankhamun out of their history. Actually, that whole dynasty they scrub. When Tutankhamun was discovered, they had difficulty finding out who he was right away because of that particular thing had been taken out of history by the other pharaohs. Akhenaten, during his time, Egyptian art, the style of art changes abruptly. He moves the capital and creates a brand new capital called Armana. He seems disinterested in whatever is going on in the rest of the world, and he goes to a monotheistic style of worship. It doesn't make the priest of the temples for all these other gods very happy, but he does it, and his queen is Nefertiti. Now, his son is Tutankhamun, but Nefertiti is not his son. Now, why is this, Bob, why is it important within biblical history? Well, we're looking at an area, and I'm using the Egyptian dates that the archaeologists are using currently. And those dates, may or may not line up with the scriptures in most cases. And however, there are some events that happened during the time of Akhenaten that we really can't ignore. During his time, he had a library, and then after Tutankhamun dies and that dynasty ends, the other pharaohs bury the city of Amarna. They try to destroy it. And in the late 1800s, there was an Egyptian woman, and she was using a rake, and she raked up a tablet. And so she reported it, that she had discovered this, to the authorities, and they began to do a dig there, and they found the library of Pharaoh Akhenaten. In that library, there are over 300 tablets that recorded correspondence between the kingdom of Assyria, the kingdom of the Anatolians up in Turkey, also known as the Hittites, to us today. And so that correspondence was going back and forth. However, 30% of these Amarna letters are coming from cities of Canaan, Canaanite cities. Multiple letters come. And as you read them, they are referring to a people called the Apru. Egyptologist Bob Breyer says that's the name that Egyptians had for the Israelites, the Hebrews. It is said that Abraham was called a Hebrew. In Hebrew, it is pronounced Ibree, I-B-R-E-E, the pronunciation of it. So in these letters, the Apru, and what does that mean? Well, defined, it means one from afar or foreigner. It can also mean a slave, people that have rebelled against the government. As these letters read, these letters come in from all these cities pleading for help because the Apru have invaded the land. They're taking over the cities. They are pleading for archers. Send us archers that they could put on the walls of the cities. Send us chariots. One of the letters actually there are about 6 of them, that come from Jerusalem. The king begins writing the first letters, and his name is Abdi-Heba in the letters. The Easton's dictionary says Abdi-Heba is Adonizek, that is written in the book of Joshua. It was Adonizek that brought 4 other kings with himself to go out and fight the Israelites, and they fought Joshua. That is the episode where Joshua prayed to God, and God extended the day. They ended up putting those 5 kings into a cave, rolling the stone over the cave. In the letters that follow after the first ones that come from Abdi-Heba, the city scribe says Abdi-Heba is no longer. So what happened to Abdi-Heba? Well, we don't know, but if you follow the story in Joshua, he died. They never conquered the city of Jerusalem until the time of David. But Adonizek had gone outside the city to go confront Joshua. It is amazing, and if you ever have the time, you can buy the booklet and go through. Mark in your book all the time the Apru are mentioned, and they're mentioned by all the Canaanite cities. And it goes right along with all of the conquest that you see in the book of Joshua. And it's just amazing, the parallels. If you ask Egyptologists, many will say, well, the dates don't match up. Well, the dates are within about a 60-year period. So the Armana Letters are written about 60 years, according to the dates that are used, after the conquest of Canaan. So the way the chronological scale is right now, that these letters are written about 60 years after the conquest of Canaan. So there's maybe some dating issues somewhere along the line, but it is remarkable. One last thing I want to show you, and this is alabaster that was made in Egypt. This dates to around 672 BC. Alabaster is made from a stone. It is turned. They don't make these into boxes. Remember, Mary had an alabaster, and many translations say box. Well, in the Greek, it is a container. And so the alabaster would have probably been something like this. You would put your more expensive item in something like this so it didn't get broken, because it's much heavier, it's a rock, and it would be sealed very well. So that's just an interesting thing there to see. So if we had a flashlight and we put it in here, this would illuminate because it's porous, and it's very beautiful when it does. But I wanted to share these things with you and help you increase your Bible knowledge.